Last time you came in here and you got dressed.
Oh, that's true.
And then I saw you on the internet the other day getting undressed.
That's true.
Is it the internet? Is Instagram the internet?
Yeah, I guess.
Might as well be.
I mean, we did put it on YouTube, so internet.
That's right.
It's out there.
It didn't go on YouTube.
If you want to
did.
see the extended cut of there's a minute version on Instagram, but there's a minute and 1 second version on YouTube.
There's
the extended 1 second longer.
There is an extended version, and we actually cut it short. So what happened is,
by the way, I froze that a few times.
I mean, I've tried to grab screenshots for Instagram
I grabbed
pictures.
some screenshots.
It was longer, and I mean, the whole end of it, it was just
does this make me a pervert?
Not at all.
No. I actually love that you did that.
Thank you.
The thing about the end of it is it was just me exiting, and it was funny.
Mm-hmm. But they were having trouble keeping the bars on you?
The best part was motion tracking me as I'm like running off.
Oh, yeah. They're kind of sharp.
Yeah.
How bounce.
How many people were in the studio when you filmed that?
Including me?
Yes. Just
3.
3?
Yeah.
Who are those people?
It was me, Mars, and my assistant, Devin.
Devin, a boy or a girl?
A girl.
Oh, I met her.
Yeah.
Yeah, downstairs. You're a 2-man band now. 3-man band.
What do you mean a 3-man?
Like Devin, you, and Marsden.
Oh yeah, I mean no, there's more than that.
There is.
Oh yeah. There's definitely more than that, but it depends on what we're talking about. Depends on what business we're talking about. Yeah, I have like in that whole thing, my team is in Utah.
Oh.
What's that?
Little raccoon. Rocky the raccoon.
We saw Rory at coffee this morning on our way here. Matt and I did, by the way. He's very complimentary of your work ethic. Very, very complimentary.
That's
which
awesome.
is cool.
I saw him.
Yeah.
I saw him the other day while he was at the coffee, actually, too.
You're like go, go, go. Like you're focused.
Yeah, I've slowed down quite a bit just because, well, I really slowed down right before the open started, because then that was my focus.
Because a huge part of what you do cornerstone of your mojo is your fitness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I think everything comes from there.
It's like you can't just sit around, not you particularly, this is metaphorically speaking, you can't just sit around and fucking sign autographs all day. You actually have to be in a fucking movie so that people will want autographs.
Yeah.
So that you can convey your message, so you can get your agenda accomplished.
Yeah.
You gotta grind.
You do, and I like it though. It took me like so many people. Oh, I don't want to say so many people. It was a gradual thing, like as far as my busyness or how much I'm traveling or how much I'm out of town. Like it wasn't just overnight. I did start traveling quite a bit more, and in the beginning, I feel like it was kind of hard to be on the go all the time or to be gone all the time or be, living out of a suitcase or whatever. Yeah. But then what happened is you just adapt. Like everyone's life or what we do, it's like people on the seminar staff, they just adapt to know that they travel every weekend. Their life, their schedule with their family changes, right? Like their weekends become their week, and they spend their week with their family, and they work on the weekends, and that's just how it is. So that's kind of what I did. I mean, I just adapted to I'm just not home a lot. Like I'm on the go. And now it's where I think it's the same as being like a competitive athlete, where it takes a lot for you to exert you need to exert yourself, to exert energy to almost feel relaxed, or you have all this pent up energy. And I get like that from if I can't train. So like after I had surgery, it's really rough because I couldn't do anything to exert energy. But now I'm like that, not only with my training, but I'm like that with my business.
Do you, there's people I know that compartmentalize stuff. I think that's how a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? They work their 9-to-5 job. They come home. They spend time with their kids. They do that for 6 months. They take their 2-week vacation. They go to Nicaragua, blah, blah. They do their life. Like my life's not like that. There was a statement that Gandhi said, how do you separate religion and state when your life is your religion? You're a walking religion. And whether it's talking about religion or work, like for me, it's not like that. from the second I'm conscious in the morning to the moment I go to bed, I'm the same person.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to work at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, 6 a.m. By work, I mean I love my job.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Sorry about the headphones. What
okay.
the fuck is going on?
Blame Gary. Blame Gary.
Yeah. By the way, this problem, that is Gary's fault. That we never had this problem. So you don't compartmentalize your life.
No, I do.
You don't take a vacation.
No, it's almost like like my life.
What do you need to
I think
take a
that's the
vacation
point-
from, right?
Yeah, that's the point where I think everyone's trying to get is to where you're doing something that you love so much that like you don't feel like you need a break from it. I do, however, think though that because what I do, and I think you guys are kind of in the same boat, especially depending on what time of year it is, it's like my business is people. And because of the type of person that I am, and like my mom's the same way, my dad's the same way, like I like to engage with people. I grew up performing and I love, making people happy and interacting with them. So that's a lot of energy.
It's funny. I asked Roy, I said, hey, do you think Brooke has changed like since you've known her? He goes, hey man, something about his kids. Basically, she's from the day I met her.
It was the way he treated his kids.
The way she treated my kids is the same way she treats them today. She had tons of energy. She was super charming. She was super good with them. I don't see any change.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, no,
I think that's a compliment, right?
Yeah, that's definitely
So
something
absolutely.
I focus on.
Who you are has manifested
Yeah.
your shit.
Yeah. And in that, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be good at engaging with people, because now if you do it at a scale where you're going to meet more people in a short period of time, what happens is I think I don't need a vacation from my life, but I need a vacation from human interaction. Like after I've done a big event, like after working the CrossFit Games last year, I came home and I remember my birthday, I spent it by myself working at a coffee shop, just doing not talking to anyone. I had no agenda. I was writing and drinking coffee by myself. And that's all I wanted to do.
Sounds
and
wonderful.
Did you cry?
No, I don't think I cried, but I think I
feel like I cry a little bit after the CrossFit Games every
yeah,
year.
Me too.
probably.
It's kind of a mixture of joy and sorrow.
But so it's more of like finding moments where I can literally spend time with no one. Like I don't want to feel, because I am the type of person where I naturally will want to take care of you. I like to do that, and I naturally I'm going to say most women probably feel this way. We're more aware of a lot of people around you, what they're feeling emotionally, what's going on. So like when I'm already hypersensitive like that, and I'm even more hypersensitive, even the more I practice interacting with people, it becomes more and more and more. I just need to like feel like I don't have to take care of anyone. And I know like you don't have to take care of anyone, but you can't help if that's what you naturally want to do. It's like my motherly instinct is to take care of the community.
I heard I heard someone explain the other day, I don't know if I believe this or not, but that's the reason why there's more female physicians now, more women doctors than men, because they are caretakers. They're like
Nurturers?
They're nurturers, givers. Yeah. I like your eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
I
did put some, I fill them in. Like I put a little bit of like brown in my eyebrows.
Well, I'm liking them.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
They look great.
My
Are
eyebrows
you going to
very
shave
blonde.
them off and draw them in like the chick at Starbucks?
No.
That's fucking a crazy look, by the way. Yeah, is that what that is?
I call it the Sharpie.
Oh, Sharpies.
The reason why I mentioned your eyebrows is in the one of your vlogs.
I remember last time you said you wanted to talk about my eyebrows.
I thought your eyebrows were a distraction on a vlog I was watching last night. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with your eyebrows? Maybe they were the wrong color. Was it the Ibiza one?
I don't know.
That was from a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, before she comes on the show, I scour that.
It could have been. It could have been because, like, so for instance, I started getting my eyebrows tinted, and when I first had them done, they were really dark, like really dark, and you just let them like wear out. I mean, every time you wash your face or wash with soap, it's gonna get lighter and lighter. That's probably what it could have been.
Did that guy really in that video? Did you pee on that guy?
Yeah, I did.
You squatted over him? Or were you peeing on the rock next to him and splashing on him?
I was trying to. I had just peed. So
why didn't
Gina
one of the dudes just pull their dick out and piss on him? Because it's just dudes don't pee on dudes.
I don't know.
He wanted female urine.
I feel like female urine is we're caretakers.
Maybe he was cold.
I'm thinking to myself, does he think it's gay to get peed on? Why isn't
he thought? You know what it was too? Is like he thought it was it was not real. And I've actually heard that it isn't real. That doesn't help. However, my brother-in-law got stung by a stingray, and my sister peed on it, and it made it feel way better. And Chris Masder, you guys may have seen him. He's on Dancing with the Stars right now. He's a really good friend of mine. He got hella stung by a jellyfish, and we couldn't quite muster up enough pee at the moment. But then I could. So I was peeing in my hand, and I was throwing it on him, and it actually made the swelling go down.
He was faking that.
I feel like some people pay money for that.
He just, totally.
Brooke, I got stung by a stingray.
You said hella.
I did.
You're full NorCal now.
Oh, I am.
You've been. In 2008, when Jason Khalipa won the CrossFit Games, Greg Glassman held him, and he was like, hey, this is the product. Here is, the product. And since then, we've seen fucking countless thousands of iterations of the product. And sort of there's a synergy between the product, obviously, and the brand, the CrossFit brand. And you probably know the CrossFit brand is good, if not better, than most people. One, because you're so involved in it, but also because of your access to HQ, your intimacy with HQ, and your intimacy with your husband, who's been here forever, who's super talented, by the way. It's crazy. Don't work him. Don't break him.
Cute dog, too.
Don't break him.
I'm only with him for the dog.
I love seeing him on the vlog, by the way. Yeah. He is fucking funny. I also see gyms that you go to, and so there's a synergy there. And so I see gyms that you go to that were once affiliated that are no longer affiliated, and this isn't going anywhere. But I've just been thinking about it since last night when I was watching your videos. There's I want to tell those gyms hey, everyone knows that you were affiliated. Everyone knows that you got the mojo from CrossFit. Everyone knows that you're not affiliated now, but now you're getting mojo from Brooke Ence. And then eventually, who's it going to be after Brooke Ence? And I just want to tell those people, there's an integrity component there. Have some integrity. Make sure you're doing the right thing. I don't want to tell them what the right thing and what the right thing is, but it's like when you go to a restaurant and me and you are being on the ice, and then you see me being an asshole to the waiter. You're like, he's nice to me, but he's an asshole to the waiter. That's really revealing, right? Because now I got a little asshole in me. So I just noticed that, and I just wanted to we value you here at CrossFit. We love having you in the gym. We just had 40 doctors come in, and I'm looking at their Instagram, and it's picture with Greg, picture with Brooke, picture with Greg, picture with, and it's so cool that you do that. You know what I mean? And there's great synergy there, and you're fucking awesome for the brand. But just when I see that, when I see gyms that were affiliated and we're working so hard here at HQ to represent the brand, I just think that there's an integrity. I question their integrity.
Which I'm so out of the loop when it comes to a lot of that stuff. Which gym?
It's I want to say it's the gym that your coach owns.
Oh, yeah, massive.
Yes.
Was he affiliated ever?
I believe he was up until 2016. And if I'm wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, no, I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful CrossFit gym he has.
It used to be a bank. Oh yeah. I know
that's why the doors look like that. That's
cool. Well, because Tommy Hackenbrook, his ex-wife, Bobby, she coaches with Nick.
Is that the woman who's in your video? What's her name? Did she go to the games? Or
No.
Did she go to the regionals?
Oh, Emily Tanner.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember when she started working with Nick, I didn't know Nick. I mean, I just got to know Nick. This is the first year that I've had a new coach in a long time. And that was by my coach, my old coach, Michael Caju. He's just been focusing on a lot of other things besides coaching. And so he basically called me and asked if I'd be willing to have Nick coach me this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
He handed you off. Wow.
Yeah. He was worried that he wasn't going to be able to be the best coach that I needed.
And what do you say to that? You love this guy, right?
Yeah. I said, okay.
I mean, that's some pretty, that's kind of
Okay.
that's kind of some altruistic shit.
Yeah, and he's there. I have both of them at regionals this year. They'll both be there.
Like if I was coaching you and I didn't think I could do it, I'd still coach you.
Yeah, I think that he was maybe.
It's like, let's see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there was some time with that, with him not sure if, probably feeling like he should hand me off, but maybe felt like he couldn't or shouldn't or didn't want to. But with like me not competing, there's a lot more time for him probably to decide like what he should do. And he just called me one day and asked if it'd be okay if Nick coached me. And Nick's kind of taken over all the brute athletes. I mean, I was the only one that Mike was coaching. Like I was the only one that he was specifically
Can I
programming
see Michael Casu? I think I know who it is.
And what is that?
He's been around forever,
for. Yeah, he was
right?
on Brute's team the 2 years they won.
Okay.
Buzzed head.
Yeah,
Not buzzed anymore.
What does that involve? Like coaching? Is it just programming? Is it nutrition? Is it sleep cycles?
Pep talks.
Circadian rhythms?
Well, Nick is great because he is so relaxed. I told him this. I'm like,
yes.
okay.
That's funny. He does not look like that when he's coaching you. He's fucking serious as a heart attack.
He's a hoss.
Yeah.
He is a fucking boss, man.
Okay.
Big man.
Yeah. So Nick is as a coach, he sends me all my programming. He, same was with what Mike did. Like, you're my main point of contact, so I don't have to connect with all my other coaches. So with Brute, we have a lot of specialty coaches that all work cohesively and help structure plans for athletes, or if it's like a group of athletes that are all working towards something, create that. So Nick basically I get all of my program from him, so I don't have to get it specifically from Nick Sorrell, my gymnastics coach, from Matt Bruce, my Olympic lifting coach. I don't have to go, and in the past I've done that. I've kept very open conversation with all of them, which I loved because they're all very, very helpful for me. And but it's just been straight from Nick, and it's been kind of like a learning curve. I mean, so this year was tough because I'm the type of person where if my program comes in, if there's something on there that I can't do, I'll stress about it. Like, I'll think like if I can't do it, or I'll
Give me an
feel like
example.
I'm not ready. Okay.
What can't you do?
Well, I mean, some things now, but like for instance, I was coming off of surgery, so it was like a long time of not training, and now I've got a new coach, and I know this, but I still couldn't help but feel a certain way. Program starts coming in because now we get to start doing some new things. We're gonna start pulling from the floor. I'm gonna do power clean soon. Like
exciting.
Some things start coming in, and I know that Nick has just giving me percentages just to see where I'm at. Like, it has nothing to do with you're going to make it to regionals or you're not. You're good or you're shit. Like, it has nothing to do with that. But I, for some reason, because it's written on my paper, if I can't hit that percentage, I'm feeling like all sorts of ways.
Like, take your 1 rep max, take 75% of your 1 rep max and do 10 cleans as fast as you can, send me your time, something shit like that.
Or
And then
it's
you're
like-
like,
yeah,
and
so
you're
like,
like,
I
I
remember
can't even do my
I remember
75% once now.
Yeah,
Is
I
that what
remember
you
the
mean?
first clean workout, he had me doing a complex. It was 2 times through, and it was a top to bottom full clean 2 times through. And I was supposed to be working up to a specific weight, which the percentage of my 1 rep at that time, I think I was supposed to be completing it at 185. I couldn't do it. I could not do it 2 times through at 135.
So you're even coming back from your surgery, you're using your lifetime PR as a baseline.
Yes, because that's what we have. And in my head, it's on the paper. It's on the paper. It's from my coach. Like, I need to be able to do this. And what I had to remind myself and openly discuss with him too is like, I can't do that. And I need you, because of, I feel like this, like it's important for me to be able to adapt and be a better athlete and be a better person, all the above. But it's also important for me to know that if there's things that don't work with me, if there are things that I know are going to stress me out and I don't need to adapt that right now, then it is your job as my coach to just not do that. Like, you get to protect me a little bit. And that's what a conversation I had with him. Like, Nick, I need
You're talking about psychologically.
I need you to be more hold back a little bit on the percentages, and then just instead of saying, because what he was doing is he'd give me a percentage, and it's like, it wasn't to say, oh, if you can't make this, you're shit. It was to say, I just want to see where you're at. That's it. Like, it's not, we're just trying to see where we're at.
But you interpreted it the other way.
But I couldn't help it, and so that's where, and it was just working with someone new. I didn't have to do that with my other coaches because they knew me, and they'd been through like me having an injury before. And so it was a learning curve for me to have a new coach because I hadn't worked with someone I had never really known in the longest time. And then as soon as we established just a better open form of communication, which really was me being willing to be very, very honest with him no matter what my emotions were, it was so much easier. And it was easy because Nick's personality is so easygoing that I fully have told him, like, oh, that workout made me want to punch you directly in the balls. I hate you. And he was like, ha ha ha.
Bypassing the face to the balls,
right.
That's the real deal.
Like, it works.
Like when you told Tommy that you hate him.
Yes.
18 point.
No, that was deep. That I hate you came from a deep dark place.
18 point. What was that? 18 point.
No, it wasn't 18. It was
it was a while ago.
2016.
It was maybe the
It was
first.
2015.
I think it was the first time the handstand push-up showed up.
It was 2015.
Wow, and you're still friends with him.
Yeah, I wrote an incredible apology text.
I feel like that stuff makes friendships, though.
I wonder if he took a screenshot of that. Let's ask him.
And you want to know why it was so hateful or so hurtful? Not hateful. I didn't even yell it at him.
Yeah, I like the way you
spoke it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you. And I walked out of the gym.
Matt.
What?
I love you.
Love you too.
All right. Just want you to know I spoke it to you.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I was just so, okay. CrossFit.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah.
Hey, we've all had episodes in the gym.
Oh, man.
We've all had episodes.
Before we go to the Tommy hatred.
Yeah.
No, I want to say two things that compliment you on two things.
Okay.
Things that people take for granted. One, when he gave you that workout and it bothered you for this because of the explanation you gave, that takes awareness. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have not even known why you were bothered. I get bothered all the time, and I don't know why I'm bothered. Why am I angry? And I gotta fucking take a few deep breaths and figure it out. What the fucking bullshit reason is, right? So you had enough awareness to fucking know what was bothering you, which is awesome. And then, and I know people take that for granted, but don't confuse yourself. Most of the time, you don't even know what the fuck why you're having your emotions. And then the second thing is you had the balls to say something to your coach and just direct.
Confront.
Yeah,
takes a lot.
It has to be like
Confidence.
that. These are characteristics of success.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
I used to have with Mike. I used to do this. Like if
cashew.
Mm-hmm. If program came in and something was bothering me in my body physically, or I don't know, I would literally call him because I could not tell if I legitimately needed to slow down or legitimately take a break, or if I was being a total little wimp. And I didn't trust myself to make that decision. And 9 times out of 10, I was always right, but I would always call him and I would explain to him on the phone, talking to him so he could hear me, what was happening. And he knew me so well. And that's why I think a connection between an athlete and their coach is so amazing. He knew me so well, he could tell me to suck it up, or he could tell me no, relax, pull back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so I've started doing that with Nick too.
How accurate was he with that?
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most times than not, I'd literally say 9 times out of 10, it was always what I originally felt was what I needed to do. It was never suck it up, you're being a wimp.
Do you ever get concerned now that you have all these people around you, and when you get naked, that maybe your assistant snapped a photo of you naked, and later on it's gonna pop up?
No. Also,
I would be
okay.
If I had 1 million followers and I was doing what you're doing, I'd be every time I went in the bathroom, I'd be checking the vents and shit.
I feel to be completely honest,
someone want video of me pooping.
Hey, people like what they like.
I mean, I probably shouldn't say this.
Timestamp this, Eric.
I for sure would not want naked photos of me out on the internet. For sure.
Yeah.
Same.
But if they were going to be naked,
right,
I'd prefer them to be me dancing around, playing around, not some, trying to be hot or some shit.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
You're not
also,
trying to be hot right there?
I mean, yeah, I was trying really hard.
It's pretty playful.
When I was young, up until I liked to run around in my underwear for a long time. I remember my parents were putting a pool in our backyard, and this is in high school. My dad would come in the morning. My dad's a contractor, and he'd have to remind me and my mother to put clothes on because there's people working in the backyard. So I've
How old are you?
I don't know, like 16, 17.
All right.
I mean, but I grew up dancing. I danced into college. Think about dancers if you guys don't know. I mean, we quick change. In the middle of a show, you run off stage, you strip down, you change your clothes, you get back on stage. I lived in a leotard and tights. I lived in like almost wearing
it's basically
nothing.
underwear.
And it's
your
just,
avatars, you're in your underwear. And
yeah.
Or
I mean,
bathing suit.
look at put a black bar. It's no different.
I mean, what they wear at the CrossFit Games is not much different either.
Yeah, and butt cheeks be popping out of them shorts.
Oh,
Two
God,
at a
those shorts
time.
you put on the other day were crazy.
Which ones?
The camo ones.
The colorful ones?
Yeah, you put them on and took them right off. I saw them in a video. They were so fucking
The
tiny. You
diaper.
said you ordered them
Couldn't move
online.
them.
Holy shit!
Dude,
I
those
was
are
like,
jean shorts.
I was
that
like, Brooke, you've
ordered.
got to take those off, and you did. I was like, oh, I thought you were gonna pop.
No, man. Did you see me like? Once I got in there, I was in there. Okay, that's
You're gonna rock those? Where are you gonna wear those?
no, man. I already sent them back. I can't wear those.
They're too little, right?
Yeah, there was underwear.
They were so little.
If you scroll down, it's right down here. Right there. Dude,
Yeah,
I ordered
yes,
them
okay.
online, and that's what it's like ordering clothes for me online. Nothing fits.
What size is that?
It's like
It was a small.
A
it's like the waist.
It's
the
a
waist
6 and
fits,
toddler.
right?
Dude, my quads are so big. The girls that I follow you don't
Your
realize.
ass isn't really falling out too much.
No, because the shape kind of covers your butt, but like it almost seems more inappropriate because of how big my legs are.
Could fit in these.
You look at some of the girls like the fashion bloggers that can wear this. It doesn't seem as inappropriate, even though they're really short, and it's because their legs are like just sticking out. And to me, it's like the quads make it more sexual. Oh, you have quads and hamstrings. Like you got to be more careful with what you wear. Sexualizes
something might fall.
everything.
Let's talk about your mom for a minute.
Okay.
Go back to your mom running around the house in her underwear.
Yeah.
I saw, God, look how big your butt looks in that.
Which one?
Sweat angel.
Oh, I know. I can make some awesome sweat angels. I want to do some artwork of some sort.
That's awesome. That's a great sweat angel.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that should be art.
I like
You
how
should
the
sell-
calves-
You
it's
should
kind of-
sell
it's
that. You
bumps
should
off.
sell that in the end store.
I was trying to figure out the best
On a
way I'd be
shirt.
able to
Oh, what
do
if
it,
that was
you
just
know?
on a shirt?
That would be pretty cool.
On a white shirt, that.
Yeah.
And
Sounds
it
like a conversation had in 2005. Oh, we should put this on a shirt, man.
it's this conversation we always have. in here.
We should make this a t-shirt.
When you're trying to flatter someone, that's what my staff says to me when they try to flatter me. They'll say something like, "That should be on a shirt." I'm like, "Go fuck yourself." There's a video of your mom flexing,
Yes.
and the 1% chance that I thought that you were on steroids was immediately
God.
squashed.
Dude, you should see my sister.
Or maybe there's a 0.5% chance I think you're on steroids and a 0.5%. I split between you and your mom. I cannot fucking believe how jacked your mom is.
What's crazy about that is she had back surgery. So at that point, she hadn't even trained in like 5 months.
Oh yeah, look at this shit.
Look at her.
But when you ask her to flex, it's nuts. How old is she?
I'm old. Look at her.
I don't have that.
Yeah, you don't have that. Neither does Eric.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I mean that's basically is that what you're doing with that post? Like, hey, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
My mom's juicing too.
Yeah. Someone commented and was like, made a comment that my mom must have been on the juice. I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, all of my siblings, my entire family.
Your sisters are like that too?
Yeah.
Do you have a brother?
I have one brother.
Is your dad jacked?
Yeah.
So you're from some weird fucking freakish gene pool?
My dad's side, both sides of my family are crazy fit. My dad.
Look at her forearm too.
So this is my dad. So they're adorable, by the way. This was his 60th birthday. They were in Hawaii. And so we're all very accident prone in my family. All right. This guy's had 2 knee surgeries. His lower back is fused. He's got arthritis in both his wrists. He's a cowboy.
Is he glad he got his back fused?
Yeah. So what happened is
He's happy because a lot of people aren't happy with back surgery.
He had to do it, man. And he's blown out both his shoulders, dislocated both of his clavicles. That's why his shoulders kind of droop a little bit. he raced jet skis. And he was in a race, and someone went down right in front of him, and my brother was behind him. And these are the stand-ups, not the sit-downs. And basically, my brother had to make a quick choice. Like, do I try and go around him, or do I jump him? And if he would have gone around him, he could have hurt him worse. So he jumped him, and the back end of the jet ski on the bottom basically hit my dad in the back and then hit his head, and it broke his helmet. They got him out of there. But then when they went to get things checked, they found out that when he was young, he broke his back falling off a horse, but it healed wrong.
Oh, gnarly.
So that was the deeper issue. So they had to go in and they fused his whole lower back.
And does he feel better?
Yeah. His biggest issue for him right now, because he does CrossFit. My parents have a new house, and I love going home because they've put a CrossFit gym in their house. So when I'm home, I can like train at my dad's house.
How often do you go home?
Now I'm going to go home way more often. Before it was like twice a year. It was really, really rough. It's kind of hard to get to Southern Utah. Got to fly to Vegas, drive 2 hours. It's a pain. But he's got arthritis in both of his wrists so bad that to do anything, he puts on wrist guards, tapes them up, and then he'll be, hurt for a few days after. So he doesn't go to a CrossFit gym because he's so competitive that he basically he'd be in pain. He would try to keep up with everyone. So he trains at home, and he's a big mountain bike rider. He rides mountain bikes. And
talk to him about going into ketosis. Tell him about getting on the ketogenic diet.
I literally just sent a book on Amazon on ketogenic to my parents' house.
Yeah. What do you think about the ketogenic diet?
I have mixed feelings about diets in general. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. I just want to talk about your feelings.
I think that, I think that things become
trendy, fad,
gimmicks and fads, and I'm not saying that that's a gimmick. I'm saying that more people need to choose their diet based on what their goals are.
Agree.
Okay, and that's because, that it will help you. One, I think that a large percentage of people who are trying to be high performance athletes, the percentage that actually can do like paleo or ketogenic and do really well on those diets is like the 1%. It's like finding someone who's going to go to the CrossFit games. You might be an outlier. If that works for you, fuck yeah, do it. But a high percentage of people who are performance athletes over years of studies and watching athletes and diets of athletes, they're a high carb, low fat diet. That's just the way it is. And I learned from trying other things.
By high carb, you're talking relative.
Yeah. I just mean like for instance,
like you're not sitting around eating ice cream.
No. Oh my God, no.
So there's still
it's like people
quality.
like I eat less than what people think I eat.
So tell me about what you mean when you say high carb, because I know people are going to get carried away.
Okay, like my percentage typically for me is like if on like a regular day my carb intake is like 170 grams, my fat intake's like 55 grams.
And you would think that's high for you?
I think that me, as far as like breaking that apart.
And what's your protein?
Well, right now I'm eating 175 carb, 160 protein and 60 fat. We've upped my fat.
I mean, that's pretty comparable to what I eat.
Yes, but when you see some people who either are trying to figure out what they should do with their diet, or they are a lot of CrossFit athletes, I definitely eat a lot less than a lot of people, and I think
that's why we can see muscles in your butt.
I think that is one. There's a lot that goes into for me to look good, feel good, play good. I feel better at the weight that I'm currently at.
Are you hungry?
No.
Never?
No. Sometimes. Depends. Depends on the time of month. Also depends on what my training day was like. Like if I'm a high volume week, I tend to get very ravenous and I act on that. Like my body weight fluctuates a decent amount, like 5 or 6 pounds.
And you wouldn't know that unless you experimented with it. And I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
How many carbs in a Coke, Eric?
What?
Sorry, go ahead, Brooke. Sorry.
No, I just think that, I just don't think, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I want to go get my body to work better using fat. Well, if you're a performance athlete and you, one, don't have a health issue that you should do that, you don't have a seizure disorder where you should do that, you're legitimately trying to be a CrossFit Games athlete or a performance athlete of some sort. I've even worked with friends who are UFC fighters who they were trying to do the ketogenic and they had no energy to get through a training session, and I'm like, you need more carbohydrates. You know, it's not, I don't think it's worth it to have to try and undergo this, you know, to get your brain to function better on fat and not on carbs, where you feel so shitty for so long. You're just trying to do it. Why? Like I see the value completely in, at some point when my volume's going to lower, transitioning my diet to something that's more like that.
Because you think it's a cleaner fuel? Like,
Yeah,
why did you send it to your dad, the book?
Well, for one, help with inflammation. And I sent it mostly because I want my mom to give it to my aunt, because my aunt is diabetic and my grandma was diabetic. And my aunt is...
Say that again. Who is that? Sorry, I got distracted by the coat.
My grandma was diabetic and my aunt is diabetic, my mom's sister.
Wow.
Type 1 though, not type 2.
Oh, okay.
However, I was watching a new show on Netflix called...
Magic Pill.
Yes. And
Is it a documentary or a show?
Documentary.
Right? But I was watching it, and I already know a lot of these things, but it was just, I also do a lot. So when things are new, fresh in my mind, I try to act on it immediately before I forget to do it. So I just sent the book to my mom for her to give to my aunt, because I'm seeing a lot of the issues that she's having being type 1, and a lot of stuff that my grandma went through that was just so painful being type 1, that I want her to read and maybe try changing some things to see if it can help her a little bit.
I think a lot of it is awareness.
Yeah.
A lot of people who would just dive into one of these diets and it would be like fat at that point for them. I think just their limited understanding of what a fat is, a carbohydrate is, a protein is, really limits them.
Yeah, and honestly,
by doing these, it introduces them to that, and it's like, oh, okay, I can find something that fits what I want to achieve.
Hands down, what should be done is basic nutrition should be taught to children. The fact that the majority of people correctly, but I mean, like, the fact that like the majority of people that are like doesn't know what a macro is. You know, like, I get messages all the time.
It's like, a lens for a camera for taking pictures of bugs.
I love it when people ask me like, "What macro diet are you on?" And I'm like, "I'm on the same one as you."
Yeah.
We're all eating the same 3.
You know, but like I think I've met with some people that teach children, and we've discussed like fun ways to teach nutrition to kids.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck them up.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to teach it to them like it's fun, like it's knowledge. It's not like dogma, or dogma is not the right word. You just don't want to give them issues.
Yep.
It's like you don't want to like scare kids about STDs, so they're just like completely terrified of having sex.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I know, it's like growing up like religious.
Well,
sex is the devil.
It terrified me into wearing condoms.
Well, that's not me.
By the way, I think it's more than awareness. I think it's influence.
That's right.
Oh,
influence. Influence. I made that up last night.
Yeah.
In one of your videos, there were two. You probably made it up many times, but there were two young ladies who approached you, and you were talking about them, and one of them was anorexic, and the other one had another issue, and you were talking about how flattered you were that you would help them as a role model.
Yeah.
And I turned to Haley. I go, she was in the kitchen. I go, influence. She goes, did she say that? I go, no, I'm saying that. I'm bringing it up on the show tomorrow. She influenced them.
Yeah,
it's some catchy shit.
It is catchy shit. I use dominance to my. I go to Utah on Monday for a regional camp. I'm going to go and stay longer than a regional camp, just to be in a good environment pre-regionals. I dropped the dominance on our group text with all the athletes.
Is this a hair tie?
That is a hair tie.
Lindsay Schrock was wearing one there. It looks like like a telephone cord.
I started using these. I'm going to say before anyone else.
Fair.
I found one at like Rite Aid.
She made one out of a telephone cord.
I found one at like Rite Aid or somewhere like a couple of years ago, and I started using it because my hair's I just put it in a ponytail every single day, and it's so fine that there's like
pull on it.
Breakage, and I'm like trying to keep it nice. So
this is the one my boys wear.
Yeah, those are good too.
Yeah.
Diet. I think that everyone is different. I think that when you're trying to figure something out, instead of jumping on a fad, you could really just think about like big picture, like what has worked big picture, and then go from there versus immediately just being, jump on a bandwagon of something. I think that the ketogenic diet is great. It's like when I talk to people, it's like, all right, here's some rules of thumb. This is what I give people. Okay. As we age, typically lower carbohydrate, higher fat is going to keep you a leaner mass. It's a great rule of thumb. You should decide, base your protein intake off of your current your body weight. It's a great place to start. Decide what you're fueling yourself for, and then you move with your fat and your carbs for that. Fat packs a punch, a real big one. I don't think people realize that.
What do you mean? What do you mean a punch?
It packs calories.
Right.
So you have these people. I mean, I was the same way. Like, I was like, carbs are the enemy when I was first doing CrossFit, and I didn't really do a lot of carbohydrates. I did like your typical CrossFit diet, like paleo-ish, and like sweet potatoes. I didn't do rice. But I was never really paying attention. I was never adding fat, but there's just fat in everything. People need to realize there's fat in everything.
So you never sit down and watch TV and are just eating a bag of almonds?
No.
Well, that's an important point.
So I go home, and my mom,
That's what I do every
my
night.
dad's got a bag of the already shucked pistachios. I'm like, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that is dangerous.
You need to work before you get that reward.
No, my issue is peanut butter.
But so
Like,
that,
legitimately, I know if I've been overdoing my fat intake and not accounting for it, if I'm feeling a little bit fluffy or like bloated, and it's usually because I've dug into the peanut butter jar way too much.
Like a tablespoon is like...
Like where I'm like, let me get my one serving. Oh, but the amount that's on my hands
Yes.
doesn't
but if you grab
count.
just that one serving, it's like 17 grams.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 14 grams of fat. I think there's like
9 grams of carbs.
I think there's like 9 and like 2 grams of fiber, so we'll call it 7, and then a comparable amount of protein as well. So you're not just eating fat; you're getting essentially another block of protein and carbohydrates.
Do you do that too? Do you subtract the fiber when you count?
No. We digest it.
You don't subtract the fiber from your carbohydrate intake, like when you're trying to calculate it. Okay.
It's so rewarding, though.
I bet it is, but it wouldn't be for me if
But that's what we're getting into. You're a performance athlete.
Yeah.
But and Brooke, like that can of Coke, I want to say had 39 carbohydrates. Yeah. And so if your total intake for the day is 170 and you had 4 Cokes, you'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Like so like you can't wait. You're not wasting your.
Because I'm hungry. I'm such a hungry person. Like, I mean, I'm eating enough. What I mean is like, I would rather eat a big meal than like eat a protein bar.
Right.
Or because I know that unless like when I'm traveling, it can be tough. Like if I'm really busy, like, I'll do a protein shake or something like that because time. But what usually will happen is if I've done that and I've consumed the same amount of calories, but the volume is vastly different. You get to like nighttime, and if I'm still like, if my appetite is high, I'm ravenous, and nothing solves it. And then I've run into an issue, and then I go to bed have eating too much at nighttime.
Do you have a rule not to eat past a certain time?
No, I woke up. So I'm not very good at sleeping, majority of the time. I was wide awake at 3:30 this morning and went out and had a bowl of cereal.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What kind?
It was a mix.
Fair.
It was...
Not the captain.
No, it wasn't the captain.
Crunch berries?
It was it's malto meal. I got it at...
Oh, yeah.
And it's s'mores.
That's hot... Oh
my god.
That's hot cereal, isn't it? Malto meal?
The brand, the company, but it's a s'mores, and in one serving is like... I think it was like 2.5 grams of fat and... probably like 24 grams of carbs and like a couple grams of protein.
Did you weigh it out?
Last night, no, but here's what I do. I like small bowls. I'll put my cereal or like my yogurt in like a small dish, and I'll even do like a half serving sometimes, and I'll just put it in a smaller dish. And
small spoon?
And a small spoon.
Little spoon.
I like it. Yeah. I'll put it on something smaller. And it's not to make it seem like it's more. It's literally that I know that I can solve my hunger problem. And I can, what's the word? Not quench my thirst, but like
fulfill.
Yeah.
Satiate.
Does Mars wake up when you wake up?
No.
He doesn't come in the kitchen and eat with you?
I can't see Mars waking up at 3:30. No offense, Mars. I can't see him waking up at 3:30.
I remember being a kid and having friends who would have those big old fucking white Tupperware containers, and they would use the giant spoon. They put the whole bag of cereal in it and then pour it with milk. Did you used to sprinkle sugar on your cereal as a kid?
Only the Rice Krispies.
And did you have a sugar bowl on your yeah, we had
in the cupboard.
Sugar bowl. Oh, ours sat out.
Ours was in the cupboard. You'd get your Rice Krispies and you would it was like you were putting a blanket on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rice Krispies are gross
with every bite, you got to scrape the bottom, you know?
Checks. We would put sugar on the checks.
And I think about like how I ate as a child, especially because when I go home now, all my siblings have kids. So usually I come home and you can see the difference of just body type, kid to kid. They're all very close in age. And so I'm always like, I always come home and I'm like, you know, don't let them eat this. Don't do that. Don't do this. You're going to ruin them. You're going to ruin them. Like set them up like to like have an easy life, not a hard life. And that's how I am now with all my nieces and nephews. All of them are super active. My nephew is a kick-ass downhill mountain bike rider. He is 15. He started CrossFit when he was like 11. We got him into CrossFit and just boosted his confidence. And he still goes. He goes and trains. Plays football, baseball. Started mountain bike riding when he was really young with my dad. My dad's a big mountain bike rider. And now he's on the team. He's 15 years old and he's riding like varsity. He's beating the varsity boys in Southern Utah.
Is he typical buff ends?
He's long and lean. Yeah, he's long and lean. Like my dad's side, all the guys, very fit, very strong.
Do your parents like Marsden?
Yeah, they love him.
Did they think you got married too young?
No.
How old were they when they got married?
Younger than me.
No shit.
Yeah, man. How old was I? 25? My mom was probably 19.
Oh.
20.
How old are you now?
I'm 28.
Do you have thoughts about what you're going to do?
High school sweethearts.
Do you have thoughts about your training? Yeah. God, your mom's pretty. I can't really see your dad. Dad has to take his hat off.
And what's so funny is they have a better relationship. I'm an observer. I love people watching. The way I feel about a lot of things, I'm a very progressive person, and I think it's from I've just learned so much from so many people in my family and watching them. They have a better relationship now, like since I went to my first year of college, than they ever did. I remember me growing up. I'm the youngest of 4. You just grow up a lot, right? We change as people, and I always say like I'm so lucky that they were able to fall back in love with one another, because I don't think that usually happens.
Oh, and you got to witness that because you were the younger sibling.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up and there was a lot of drama.
In the relationship?
In my life, in my family. I'm the youngest of 4, and my siblings don't listen to this shit anyways. My siblings, my older 2, were problem children. And they caused a lot of problems. And they caused a lot of problems between those guys. And it's just like some intense stuff. And I grew up just watching it. And I grew up being in the middle of it and seeing it. And my biggest fear growing up was my parents getting old.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hands down was my biggest fear. And also I remember when I was like 6th grade, everyone's parents were getting divorced, like where I'm from. Everyone's. And I was like so scared that was going to happen. And what's so funny is like
that's
now.
That's because you're from America.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's so funny because now like being older, it's like I just see I see life and progression and change like so much different than when you're young, right?
Having siblings is crazy, and being a parent is crazy. And when I see and definitely all the siblings aren't raised, all the kids aren't raised the same, right? My sister was raised totally different than how I was raised, even though we're only 2.5 years apart. When you say that they were problem children, meaning like they would cut school, or one of them would tell your mom one thing, or play them against each other, or what do you mean by that? Or like, because like my wife and I we've been together 20 years and we never had any issues, and then the kid comes and there is some friction about how you want to raise him. Like I want to grab him by his arm, take him to his room, and she's like, hey, don't squeeze his arm.
No, I mean,
and then right then there's conflict. You know what I mean?
For sure. Like I'll say this. I think that it's scary to have children because you just don't know what you're going to get. Like you can be the best parent in the world and you just don't know what you're going to get. And that's a risk you take, okay? My older two siblings got into a lot of trouble. They got into trouble with the law, bad kids at school, and then, sorry, Robin. My sister and my mom just butt heads a lot. They're very similar, very strong willed, but Robin also she had a temper, and she's grown up now, and she's pregnant. She's had one baby and she's married, but it took her till she was, in her 30s to grow up.
Auntie Brooke.
Yeah.
It took me to my 30s too.
And look,
now I'm here with you.
I just think that
Eric and I are holding strong.
This is another moment where I think some people aren't going to like what I'm going to have to say, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Fire away.
You have children and they take so much energy and so much attention, and they need that, right? Rightfully so. You got to try and help them grow up and not freaking walk into traffic when they're a child. But it can be very easy to take all your focus off of your own personal little problems you might have in your other relationships, whether it's like family or siblings or marriage or whatever.
Like you still gotta fuck, you still gotta work out, you still gotta eat. Yeah.
So I just think that, what I realized, and it will happen without you realizing, and my mom is like a mama bear. She's a mama lion, and she would do anything for her kids, and she's got 4 kids, and we did everything we wanted. My parents let us all do all of the activities, all the sports.
Gymnastics, horseback riding, all that shit. Cirque du Soleil.
And my dad worked full-time. My mom worked full-time. Both owned their own businesses. My mom started a bagel store. She's an amazing cook. And
she doesn't look like she's bagels.
She doesn't. She's better at she doesn't need to eat the things that she cooks. I have the appetite of my father. It's we got to throw that shit in the trash. If we can't have it, don't buy it.
Oh, okay. So your dad looks fine.
So you're ramping up to this thing that you shouldn't say, but it's going to be some sort of truth. When you have kids, it fucking sucks you dry.
I just think that it's a lot easier when you might be having some problems, and it's never big problems in your relationship. It's the little problems that don't seem like a big deal, but they become big deals. So it's very easy to ignore them or not have to deal with it right now or put it off when you have kids, because those are bigger things,
right,
and more energy, and both of you would rather just do that and then ignore what's happening here.
Kids are asleep in your bed. That doesn't mean you don't bone. That means you bone on the floor.
Yeah. And I just think that my parents, when I went away to school, I'm the youngest, my mom, they were finally alone together, and they had to reconnect. It was the moment where, because there were so many moments when we were growing up that they could have ended it. I mean, I thought it was ending for sure, man. And when I left, it was like, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, right? And
your mom's told you this?
Yeah, and I just watched it. I mean, I just observe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so to me, it was like somehow, and I tell people somehow, when it was bad, when she was, and she said it, she's like, I was a total bitch. When she was a bitch, somehow my dad still stuck it out. And when my dad was an asshole, somehow she still stuck it out. And that may have been, it was a lot for the kids, right? And then somehow they were able to reconnect and fall in love with one another again. And
are they religious?
They're spiritual.
I mean, do they go to church on Sunday?
My mom goes sometimes.
Do they feel like they have an obligation, to God to stay together?
No.
No.
They still have problems. You will always have problems. Interacting with humans you're going to always be different than someone,
tricky.
Right? But they have a way better relationship now than they ever had my entire upbringing, and you just can't say that for a lot of people. And it's okay if things need to change, right? You need to do what's going to make your life healthy, or your mind healthy, or all these things. But I definitely have watched them go through some shit and somehow end up better than you would have ever expected it to happen. And my entire family's like that. Like, I remember my family was always like the bad family. Like, my siblings just got into a lot of trouble.
You mean like on the block? Ooh, those are the Ences.
Not like in that way, because a lot of people where I'm from, they always thought that like we were the goody two-shoe because of my family, because of my extended family. But like neighbor to neighbor or family to family, like our family was always a little bit more of like maybe, you know, the kids got in trouble with the law.
Just because you have a home on the beach in Encinitas doesn't mean it's all roses and...
Yeah.
Do you drink, Brooke?
Yeah, occasionally. I'm too vain. I'd rather not waste calories on...
That's funny because I see
reason why.
I see it the other way around. I would rather drink my calories.
See, and that's how it's like my best friend Gina. She loves wine. She would much rather, she drinks her carbohydrates with wine. And me, it's probably because I'm hungry because my volume's so high. Well, like when my volume's high, you're hungry. So
Right.
like if I drink anything, a Coke, I'm going to be hungry still. It's not going to satiate me.
Do you feel like you're betraying your training if you drink? Or not even feel, are you? I mean, this lady Gina, she's not training to be a regional athlete, right? Okay.
No. I think you mean like for me?
Yeah, like you can't drink wine if you're serious about the CrossFit games, right?
no.
I mean, for nutrition.
I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of
no.
hit, like I had a beer last night and
Yeah.
I had a serious mental like issue with it because I don't like drinking during the week. I'll drink either Friday and Saturday.
Why did you drink then? Did I stress you out yesterday?
A little bit. Everybody else, it was a moment, right? You find these moments and you're like, all right, everyone's having a beer bullshitting. I'll have one.
He's
Yeah.
not joking.
I'm not gonna-
we had
I'm
a
not gonna
call
skip that.
yesterday, and like during the middle of the call, I'm like, "Are you getting stressed out?" He's like, "Yeah, but that's how I cope with shit."
Because I say, give me 24 hours.
I'm like, "Dude, don't be stressed out. This is cool."
I think it will obviously affect some people differently. I get I feel really shitty after drinking because I don't ever drink.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like you make decisions, you cut things out of your diet and put them in based on, one, what your goal is, and two, what are your non-negotiables? Like, what makes you happy?
Right.
Like
Non-negotiable.
having like a beer on the weekend because that's what you like, and the social aspect's awesome. Like, cool. That and there's nothing wrong with that. I think when you start looking at something because you're making, maybe your new goal is like something's wrong with your health, right? Now it's like, okay, well, now what is the most important? And is that more important than a beer? Well, yeah. Well, then I can get rid of the beer. It's always should be like, what's my goal? And then what are the things? Like, also, happiness is very important too. You know, like after realizing it so many times, I'm just a happier person. I feel better if I'm not hungover, or I feel better if I'm not.
So you went through a
not
drinking.
really
you went through a
bloated.
drinking phase.
No, I drank more. Like, I think I drink only a few times a year.
Does Marsden drink?
He doesn't really care for it either. A beer?
But I mean, like at night, will there be a bottle of wine open and he's drinking it and you're not?
No.
No, it's not
A
like
cider. He might have a cider.
Your parents staying together. How do you think that influences you? Are you like, fuck? That me and Marsden are going to be together too. Like, I know how to do this. I know that like there'll be ups and downs. Like, do you pull that into your own life?
I pull it into my life in a way where I will not put expectation on any of my relationships with friends. I think you can create problem if you're constantly trying to solve a problem that's not there. And I'm not, like, I would rather, if I can continue to take life day by day with goals and my actions trying to be, they're all leading towards happy, positive, healthy things, then that should emanate into my relationships. If I'm constantly surrounding myself with people that we are like-minded and we all have goals to be happier and healthier and experience life and do new things and try new cool stuff, we're going to want to be together, you know?
People aren't going to like this, but you just gave like the fucking key to fucking great relationships. I had a friend in college who I just loved so fucking much.
What's his name?
Her.
Oh, okay.
But she had expectations, and it fucked everything up for her and everyone fucking around her, because we were a clique, just like of 20 of us, and expectations just fucking. No one wants to be around someone. Adrian Bosman's amazing like that. The relationship I have with him, and I say it because he'll be very clear. He has no fucking expectations. He invites you over to his house for dinner. He doesn't give a fuck if you say yes or no, cancel at the last minute. He's like, he knows everyone's on a fucking mission.
I want to say it's one of the best compliments you can give somebody. Like I've said that about Kara before. I'm like, God, Kara just expects nothing from me, and I love that. It's like I can be this, that, doesn't matter. Shouldn't care.
That's who you gravitate to, right?
Yeah, I just think this conversation can be brought up to you like when it comes to like religion.
You mean the expectations your religion has on you, or being a dogma, or what do you mean?
No, just like when you start talking about religion, like because I'm not very religious anymore.
You were.
I mean, I grew up Mormon.
Okay.
Utah.
Yeah, and but I never focused on like. There were things in my religion I didn't really love.
Do you know about the Provo float?
No.
Okay.
I didn't really love.
Ask Heber about it.
Eric can tell you about. Yeah, Heber can give you.
You really don't know that term, the Provo float?
Heber can give you.
Like docking
Yeah, yeah.
or soaking.
or soaking. Yeah.
I haven't heard. Is it? I've never heard the term docking, but that's awesome.
I heard
You said
docking.
Docking, not Provo
Yeah.
float. Okay. Did you learn it recently, or did you know it when
No,
you were there?
I heard it in college actually.
It's amazing.
Docking.
It's amazing.
So many questions.
Okay, sorry. So religion. Go back to religion. So you've strayed from your religion.
I've just strayed from. I've not strayed. I'm just. Again, from a young age, growing up, I going to college and meeting people that weren't Mormon. And like when I was growing up, I never really focused on other religions. I didn't care. My goal wasn't to learn about yours so I could tell you how shitty it was.
Right.
But a lot of other people did that to me when I went to college.
Like they learned about Mormons and they're like, hey, man, your magic underwear and your guy John Smith, that shit's bullshit.
But like, for instance, there were things, because my family didn't go to church much when I was growing up. I went on my own. Me and my sisters went. Like my brother didn't go. My dad didn't go. And I encountered a lot of people within my religion that were very judgmental of me because of my family. And I thought that was bullshit. And that's where I realized, there's...
That's not fun.
No, and I think a lot of it is like just realizing, or me, I just started realizing, people have different beliefs, and even if you're kind of trying to teach something, and we're all getting taught it at a different place, the person teaching it is going to instill their own personal opinions, whether you realize it or not. So when I was in high school and I had a teacher tell me that if a boy asked me to a dance and if he was not going to church every Sunday, I should say no, because that boy would never be able to take me to the temple. I was like, no, not going to do that. I grew up where we give respect to all people. And I grew up...
Your parents raised you like that?
Yes. And I have a family that my own family doesn't go to church every Sunday. So I wouldn't choose someone else over them.
Right.
It was just, there was a lot of things that would happen, and I just chose to ignore the shit that I thought was dumb and live and practice the things that I loved, which had to do with just, taking care of people you loved, very family oriented and things like that. Well, I think that religion in general, again, sorry if you guys are like, oh, you're so dumb, Brooke.
Savon, it was
really,
Joseph Smith, not John Smith.
Yeah.
So I'm the dumb one. Don't worry, I'll take all that for you.
I think that,
Shut the fuck up. Let Brooke talk. You're an idiot.
I think a lot of things are taught through shame and guilt.
Oh, with religion? Absolutely.
Yeah. And I got to a point where I was just, that crosses over into all parts of your life, not just your religion.
Oh yeah, I know managers, I know people in leadership roles who rule with shame and guilt.
But I think even with like how you might be able to get through or process things, right? Like when learning that, or having that be a way of teaching someone anything. And from when you're very young, that will stay with you forever. So I was always a very guilty person over the dumbest stuff. I've got some funny stories, actually. Can't tell a lie. I mean, I probably could tell one now. But, like, I could not. I mean, I had so much guilt. And every time I went to church and my dad wasn't there, people would ask me, "Where's your dad?" You know?
At the bar.
At the bar.
It's probably working.
Or if I went boating with my family on a Sunday and I go to church the next week, well, where were you? How'd you get that sunburn? Oh, you were at the lake. Oh, on Sunday. Yeah. With my family. You know, there's so many people in religion that they'll just keep more guilt, more shame, more guilt, more shame. And then you can't help but that be something that you might experience other things throughout life where someone else doesn't have to make you feel guilty or feel shame. You'll do it to yourself and you're just holding yourself back. When in reality, I would rather focus on living for the now versus constantly making decisions based on what might happen when I die. And that's where things changed for me. That doesn't mean that I don't want to be spiritual. That doesn't mean that, like, if I have children, I wouldn't want to have some sort of religion for them, because that was something that helped me learn. You know, I had a big reason why I am who I am is because of that piece that was in my life, you know, and I had I made good decisions based on those things that I learned. There's just a lot of other stuff in there that I learned. And so, like, right now in my life, there's not a real place for religion because I'm happy.
And the last time you were here, we were talking about having kids, and you said that you weren't going to have kids, and then just now you mentioned something about kids being scary because it would be a crapshoot.
Well,
is that the reason why?
No, there's a lot of reasons why. One, yeah, teenagers. I don't want one of my own.
Fuck no, you don't have to keep them that long.
You know,
I don't want one of my own. Did you just say that?
I don't.
I just take puppies. That's awesome.
Hands down, okay? Like, it's so funny. Jean always jokes because her daughter, love her to pieces, but I'm an observer.
Uh-huh.
And from about age 13 to 17.
Her daughter worked the shit out of her.
You sound like little pieces of shit.
You know what it is?
These teenagers.
And it's like it's just sad. So just so you know, as a parent, that you know, in Men in Black, when he makes you look at that thing and it erases your brain, yeah,
like something happens to you where your brain floats in the shit. Like if you have kids and you don't even know what's happening.
No, I know.
So it's kind of cool. So it kind of sucks. Like you're getting electrocuted, but like you don't know it.
Yeah, I think that.
Have you ever been on a boat and get motion sickness?
No.
Yeah, I have.
So I was on this ship to Antarctica, and my room was on the 7th floor on a 12-story boat, and the boat was rocking so hard for 3 days that my window went into the fucking water. Yes. Can you imagine sleeping like that at night? You're just being thrown from one side of the bed to the other. It's kind of crazy.
Would you have a seatbelt in the bed? Did you strap yourself in?
I did not, but I think there was one now that you mention it. So
didn't use it.
You got the special.
I was
room.
on so much motion sickness medication that I wouldn't get sick, but I knew I was sick. I
think I'm gonna throw up right now.
It was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah, no. I just think that.
Have you been to Antarctica?
No.
Okay.
I have
to do a photo shoot there. You look good there.
In Antarctica? Let's do it. I have lots of nieces and nephews. When I go home and I'm around my siblings' kids, they're adorable. I love them.
Rory vouches that you're good with kids.
I am good with kids. I remember when I was growing up, my mom always said I could connect with people of all ages. And I see it now. And I've seen it before, but like that's how I was. I could sit and be with the senior citizens. I could sit and be with all the different kids. I could, You
like people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How are you for time today?
What time is it? We can go for about like 20 more minutes.
Okay. How about we take a 3-minute social media break?
Okay.
We'll all talk to our phones.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Okay.
20 minutes later.
Brooke, you'll sound more beautiful if you pull the mic closer to your mouth.
Hello.
Even higher.
Right there?
Closer.
Is that better?
Yeah. Ooh.
Better.
God,
closer. Warmer.
You went from a 7 to a 10.
All in just the movement of my mic.
I'm going to try to steer the conversation away from
we can do that.
serious shit.
Yeah, let's stop talking about serious shit.
Was that a nipple on your, is that a nipple?
Yeah.
Your emblem's a nipple? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah.
When your nipples are hard and you're working out, do you know?
No. I think I'm so used to it.
Just is.
Yeah. Unless it's like painfully hard.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So sometimes.
Yeah, man. Sometimes if it's like really cold, or like if I'm running, sometimes on like a long run, I've been running Westcliff, and it might be cold too, like or a little bit cold. My nipples have been so hard, they hurt so much that I had to have Marston do like where you
on them.
yes. Like to try and get him to not be so hard because it was so painful.
Yeah. My wife hasn't had that in a long time, but I remember that used to happen to her all the time. I don't think that happens to guys. Have your nipples ever gotten so hard that they hurt?
Some do.
Tried hard, you know.
You've heard of it?
Do.
You know some guy that's happened to before?
I mean, maybe not. They don't get that hard, but
that they hurt. Have your nipples ever gotten so hard that they hurt?
Today or ever?
That's a cool shirt you're wearing, CrossFit Medicus.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
No, just anytime. Have your nipples ever gotten so hard that they hurt?
Maybe if you were running, if they were hard and your shirt was like rubbing.
Sure. Yeah, they have. But never like openly bleeded or anything. I have really tiny nipples. I know Mars does
Marston's
too.
are super tiny,
Mars
man.
and I have like a support group for each other.
They're little.
This is the itty bitty nipple committee.
That outfit you wore on the red carpet for Justice League. How do you get an outfit like that?
Was that the leather pant?
It was the top. It looked like
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
bodysuit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a bodysuit, and then I had just pants on over the top.
You just went and got that yourself.
Yeah.
That's just like go to Nordstrom's and pick that
Oh
up.
man, it was.
No, that's not it.
Oh, this?
Which one?
But you look great there, but that's not it. It was in the video. It was there's a Justice League video.
Yeah, there's a picture.
You look good. Is that some other red carpet shit?
This was I was nominated for a thing called a Shorty Award. That was for those, which kind of sucked because of course Serena Williams won, but she wasn't there, so they actually didn't even bring up my category.
Oh.
Because they just brought in a video, because people that weren't there brought in a video of them saying like thank you. So it kind of
you didn't even
sucks.
get your name announced as one and nominated. Brooke Ence. Oh man.
I know, and it was me, JJ Watt, Serena Williams, Kevin Durant, Katie Ledecky, and someone else.
It was stacked against you.
I'm not surprised Serena won. No offense.
No, I'm not surprised either. I'm not surprised either.
You worked very hard on the set of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You gave a lot of time to the movie.
Yeah.
And then you gave a lot of time to Justice League.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was more. And more for less. And Justice League was less for more.
And that makes sense. Is her math good?
That was hard for me to follow.
And
I've got a little brain, so.
The skills that was it the same production company?
No. Oh yeah, both Warner Brothers.
Okay, and did you get was there someone on the set of Wonder Woman or whoever does the casting for Wonder Woman? They saw you and they're like, okay, let's grab this lady and have her also be starting from scratch again to get in that movie?
No, actually, it was Zack Snyder, the director of the Justice League, who asked them to call me, and they called me right before the games of 2015.
Did you know him?
No.
Okay, he
He
saw you
found a
somewhere.
photo of me.
Okay.
It's a photo it's an old photo where I'm wearing a blue sports bra and I've got a sledgehammer over my shoulder.
Oh, so you made that photo to sort of court.
No,
Okay,
I didn't.
sorry.
That was just a photo that he found online. He came across it.
Was it the Rogue sledgehammer that the Miko Salo?
It might be. It might be one. Yeah, it was from when I was a Pure Pharma athlete a long time. It was a photo shoot in Salt Lake City, and I was I have it on my shoulder, and he had come across that and basically was like, and then he had been following me on social media too. And they called.
Did you know that? Do you know when Zack Snyder's following you?
No. I mean, he probably does it like a lot of people do, where he doesn't actually follow you, but yeah, that's the photo.
Oh yeah, okay, that's a great photo. Jesus, holy shit.
That's the photo.
Is that the original? It cuts off right here?
I don't know why it cuts off like that. I think there's probably other ones.
Okay, Mr.
I
Photography.
did.
No, there's
you read into
definitely-
that. I'm just asking.
There's definitely other ones.
Okay.
It's just eyes to vag.
Let's not
beautiful
Google me
picture.
though.
Always Google.
Let's not Google me while you're at
Last time we had you Googled up the whole time. It was awesome.
Photos just get everywhere, and I don't want.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait,
like,
but go
this
to the
one's- This one's had a bunch of like different iterations of it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's just like where it goes, it gets cut off.
Hey, there's not one bad photo of you. in this, like, just do a quick scroll up, even though she doesn't want us to.
No, there's not.
I do a quick scroll down.
And you know
Look
what I
at
do?
you. Your first photos with friends.
That's
Jesus
funny.
Christ.
I wouldn't.
Let's fix
wouldn't
that.
put down.
Look, there's one with friends. There's one carrying a rogue bag. There's one with a hammer. There's one in your backside.
Well, this
and
is
there's-
also Brooke Ence rogue or sledgehammer search, right?
Pure Pharma.
Pure Pharma. Oh.
Yeah, that was actually for a Pure Pharma day in the life shoot.
What movie are you going to be in next? Do you know yet? Do you have time? Are you trying?
I started doing acting classes after the Justice League. I'll just quickly answer. They wanted me for the Justice League, and they were filming Wonder Woman prior to, and they wanted some crossover, and I imagine Zack Snyder was like, put her in here. So I did that, and
Is it you who's holding up the
wall?
Yeah.
That is me.
That's awesome.
And there's two. You see me when they first walk in on the left, and then you see me swing the hammer and catch the wall on the way out.
That's all green screen?
Yeah,
It looks pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
You were never in danger?
never. Well, we actually had to catch a thing that was very heavy because there's got to be real feedback.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh, yes. I remember seeing a Sons of Anarchy episode, and there's supposed to be a dead body in the barrel, and there was like nothing in the barrel, and it was just kind of like, you're like, oh, come on, guys. At least
Yeah,
put
it's
like
crazy.
some sandbags in it.
it was crazy
That's
to
what you
do
mean by
to do
feedback?
the
Like, it
yeah.
has to be like-
Well, there had to be some weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the hammer that we're swinging was heavy.
When I asked you if you're going to be in a movie, you got kind of like, are you pissed? You're like, yeah, I need to be.
No.
Like, get me.
No, you know what? I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete full time. I like being an athlete. I want to be an athlete that has lots of, got a big toolkit. And I want to be in movies and do more acting. And I've been doing acting classes. I did musical theater till I was in college. I like it. But I'm not, like, that's not my career. This is my career. And that's just something cool that could be really good at that I'll add to it. So I am preparing myself because I know some opportunities are going to arise and I want to be more prepared for them.
Just like CrossFit.
Yes.
Like even if you're not an athlete, some opportunities are going to arise. You should be doing GPP.
Yeah. So, for instance, like when I was doing the movie, everyone there, they're okay. They were okay with hurry up and wait because that's what their job is. And as soon as that movie's over, they start going on more auditions to do it again. And that wasn't the case for me. So it was very, I came from my career to do this thing and then feeling a little bit underutilized because I was in Wonder Woman and being in full kit all day and not being used, like a bunch of us. But I also can't go to the gym and I can't train. I'm up to go. I was up every day to go to the gym to do something at 5:30, and then I was in the seat at 7 to get in full makeup, full kit, and then we were on set, and then we got done about 6 p.m. and then we go get taken off our stuff. I go to the gym for an hour, and we go to dinner. I go to bed, do it again. And the only days that we didn't film was Saturday, Sunday, and those days I trained. So every day.
How long did that go on for?
Long time.
Like over a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this.
Oh, so that'll make you. Did you get sassy?
No. I just kept trying to tell myself when I went to regionals, I was going to be really mentally tough. Like that was, and because there was a lot of things I was undergoing. And my grandpa died while I was gone when I was in Italy.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. And there's a lot of stuff that was happening. I was doing a lot of volume. I was like doing a lot of stuff I wasn't used to doing, running in sand.
Away from your husband.
Yes. And
the dog.
And the dog. And I was getting really bad tendonitis in my knee. I stopped going below parallel altogether 6 weeks before regionals.
Was that from standing around?
And running in sand and also trying to do all my training.
Is that all healed up?
Oh, yeah. But like there was just a lot of stuff I was dealing with going into regionals in 2016.
Are you healthy right now?
I mean, relatively?
Right. For someone who just takes it to their body on the regular, you're relatively healthy.
Relatively.
You took 16th in the West region.
Yes.
241 points.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the workouts you got 120th place. Let's say you'd got 20th place, and it would have changed you 100 points. Then you'd just be like fucking right in the mix, like top 4, right? When you see, do you do that?
No.
Like, you didn't do it. I just did. You didn't do it. Oh, I was pretending like I was you last night. I'm like, okay, if I'm Brooke, what am I doing? 16th. Just take off 100 points here. You can't take 1,000th place in a workout in a region and go to the games, huh?
No. Well, you can.
Maybe.
You can?
Yeah.
Is there someone you're thinking of in specific?
No, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of an experience that I had. Took a long time for me to be okay with.
Which was?
Regionals in 2016.
Oh.
I don't think that I don't agree with the fact that the way
The scoring?
yes, that someone can take last place in 1 or 2 events but win a couple events and then you're fitter to go to the games. I feel like the way it used to be, you'd have someone who maybe wasn't the best at some things, but they were so good at so many things that you finished in like a top position.
Right.
But now the way the scoring is, you can be really shitty at something, but you better be the best at something. It's like you can have those holes, but you've got to be able to balance it out with being the best at something.
Does that carry over to the games too? Do you think that can happen in the games or no?
No, because there's more events.
Right.
I think that's fine when you have so many events, but in like a 3-day weekend, it can be tough.
It's hard to check all the boxes.
It's hard to check all the boxes.
So how would you fix that? You would make it so like if you...
I mean, that's not... I don't know. I mean, I was very...
You think someone went to the games and you were fitter than them and they were in your region?
Yeah, for sure. 2016. Because we can't do this. We can't say like, well, put me in this region in XYZ, but I would have won other regions with what I did in the California Regional in 2016.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my lowest placing in an event, I think I took a 14th. And I think that I may have taken a 21st on the pistol power clean event. And that was because it was right after the wall ball pull-up event. And I hadn't done a squat, not even to a toilet, in 6 weeks. And I just blew myself up.
How did you pee and poop if you didn't squat to a toilet?
Like this.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't sit down because my knee was so bad when I was in Europe. So, and what happened is
you would be on the set and your knee would be in that situation?
Yeah. I came home and I had to stop taking any anti-inflammatories for a very long time because that was all I had when I was over there.
Just popping 4 Advil a day? 8 Advil a day?
8.
Well, it just like wore off?
Did you ever take more than 8?
No. Like 200 milligrams per. The most I've ever taken is 1,600 milligrams. That was at the CrossFit Games in 2015.
But I mean, but would you take 12 pills in a day?
No.
Like 4, 4, 4? No.
No, like 4. 8.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Bob said don't exceed that.
That's the most serious.
Well, I had doctors back home that were helping me try and manage some things because I didn't have anyone there to help me manage anything.
As we talk about the games, your eyes have gotten more steely-eyed.
Well, that's not. I'm not going to say that that's not my goal this year, but it's not.
To go into the games isn't your goal?
I'm realistic. I had my neck fused in March.
Yeah.
I've got a torn labrum in my left shoulder. I probably have one in my right one. I'm fully aware of like where I'm at in my recovery. I had my neck fused. You know what I mean? Like I didn't work out for like 8 weeks, and then they made the bone graft they put in my spine was actually a little bit taller. So then everything in my upper body had to readjust to a new position. Like there's a lot of things that I went through. There's a lot of things I'm still going through. My spinal cord was significantly pinched in half for over almost 4 months. So I have a lot of nerve damage. There's no protocol to heal nerves. You can't speed it up. No amount of me pulling more weight or hanging on longer is going to make it better.
Those being cues from a coach. Those 2 things you said. There's no amount of.
Yeah, and I've had that conversation with my coach.
Right. Like he's giving you cues and you're like, it's not that.
Not cues, but like you could be like, okay, we're going to do farmer carries. It's like you realize by putting more weight in my hands, it's not making it better. A nerve isn't like a muscle. It will grow 1 millimeter a day. And then even with that, talking to like my surgeon, because I was very good about not rushing my recovery because it just wasn't worth it. even then, it's like, well, everyone's different. And then also, me recovering from what I'm doing, and as soon as I can start working out, I'm starting to work out and do these things because I got to get ready for the open, right? I got to be able to handle the volume. I got to be able to do all these things. Well, then I'm training and I'm putting this pressure and this stress on my nerves that are trying to heal. Like, what's that doing? Is that hindering it? Is it making it better? And
Are you
none
thinking
of us
about
know.
not doing the regionals?
No, I'm definitely doing the regionals.
How do you make that decision?
To do regionals?
Yeah, like how do you be like, I'm going to wait one more year?
No. Fuck no.
No.
Yeah.
So you have a line.
What do you mean a line?
Like, I'm hearing you on one hand saying like, I got to rest, got to take this rest seriously.
No. I'm realistic with knowing where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm not going to show up to regionals and be like, oh, I'm injured. Oh, I'm in recovery. No. But I'm not going to show up with expectations on myself because as an athlete, it's very easy to do that, especially when I've been to the games. I won my region. I've dealt with a lot of emotional stuff over the last couple of years. I've been through a lot of different things, and I'm just at a different, better place where now than I was. Like, being more secure with who I am, being more vulnerable with who I am, what I'm going through, what I'm doing.
But you want to go to the games?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to show up and be and put so much stress on myself, on my score, on my, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to show up with a plan based on what the workouts are, based on what I can do, because I can't be any fitter than I am. I'm not going to wait another year. I'm 28 years old. I want to start more businesses. I want to actually solve problems for people. And when you're a CrossFit Games athlete, you're solving problems for you. You have to live with blinders on.
But you could but you're also parlaying that to solve problems for other people. You're using your notoriety to.
Yeah, but I think that everyone's different. Obviously, some people just aren't cut out for certain things. Some people shouldn't be president. Some people shouldn't run a company.
Funny you say that.
Yeah, some people shouldn't be truck drivers. Some people can't drive and stay awake. Some people can't do these, and that's okay, right? I think that yes. Some CrossFit Games athletes have been how many times? If we're looking at social media and how much power they have, it's not that high. That's not because they're...
are you talking about Ben Stoneberg?
No. I'm just saying...
Matt, that was funny as shit.
Ben's a nice guy.
He's a great guy. But he should be the poster child for the CrossFit Games, and he has 12 followers.
Oh, yeah.
And his body's amazing. He's a freak.
I just mean along the lines of there's more that goes into a person.
It doesn't make sense, Matt.
There's more that goes into a person or an athlete than their performance.
Right.
If you want to be more than you as an athlete.
Yes.
And that's what people need to realize too, instead of expecting more from people because you've made it to the CrossFit Games.
You came to the gym the other day and you weren't wearing makeup.
Yeah, I don't wear it sometimes.
I thought you looked amazing, but every time I see you, you have makeup on.
Yeah, I like wearing makeup.
Yeah.
A small amount.
But you can't, you don't wear it a lot. But you came down like you weren't wearing makeup. And I was like, oh my God, she's not wearing makeup.
Well, what day was it? Because
Take Wednesdays off?
No, I put makeup on every day.
This day you had no makeup on. You were over at the pull-up bar right by the entrance door, and I was talking to you a little bit. There was someone else over there too.
Yeah, these are things I just don't notice.
Well, you know what's funny is I'll tell you right now, I put makeup on every day. If I'm going to be on camera, I might do a little more color on my eyes, or I might put lip liner on or something like that. But I put on the same makeup every single day. I wear a tinted sunscreen, concealer under my eyes. I usually fill in my eyebrows and put on a bronzer. And if I'm
put on a bronzer.
Yeah.
I don't know what a bronzer is.
Like blush or a little bit of color for your face.
Right. Matt could use that.
Every day.
Probably could.
Hands down every day. And then I sweat and some of it comes off, and that's just the way it is. But I will put a little bit on every day because I feel better if I'm more put together.
This day you look like one of those Dove models from do you know the Dove soap from the old days? They had Dove models and they washed their face. Yeah.
Oh, they have good face. They have good faces.
You look
That's
like
good.
a Dove model. Tell me about your clothing line.
Ence?
Ence.
Yeah.
Is it 1 ounce or 2 ounces?
Ence.
Ence.
It's encewear.com because ence.com.
It doesn't look like you're wearing a lot of makeup back there. Go back.
Because I'm not. I'm not wearing a lot.
Where is that?
Eric, get off her butt. There you go.
I'm not wearing a lot.
Yeah,
but
that's a nice.
Oh, look,
for you.
verification. You've been rocking that
Yeah. But that's the same amount I wear every single day. But depending on the lighting, depending on how much light you're putting on someone, it's going to be different.
Who took that photo?
Mars.
You look great there.
You do look really good. I like the ferns in the back too.
You know that it's not photoshopped because my flyaways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
We like to keep that in there so people know.
Serious fucking flyaway. Holy
once
shit.
again, things that I just would not
Is that
recognize.
the official term?
Flyaway?
Yeah.
That's what my mom always called them.
Okay, so how you're sitting around at home naked and you're like, some people have to wear clothes, so I might as well make some clothes for them?
No, people, it all started with me wanting to just do a t-shirt for my fans this season. It's a big season for me, and people have been wanting me to do an Ence shirt for a really long time, and I just haven't been able to. And I honestly just met people. The opportunity fell in my lap.
You're somewhere and you're like, hey, I want to make a shirt, and they're like, oh, I have a t-shirt.
It was actually a friend of mine who was talking to me just about life. I was on his podcast, and then he was talking to me about like my social media and wanted to know
who is he?
Bradley Martin.
He's
like a bodybuilder.
Oh, there was a Bradley Martin who died who was on Howard Stern. He believed in aliens and shit.
Not that one.
No, oh.
Not wrong. Different guy. Same name. But he was just he's much more into like the analytics and like social media and like YouTube and I don't really know a lot about that. And so he was just asking me some questions about what my analytics looked like and like percentage of like men to women that follow me and things like that. And he said, you got to do this. And I was like, okay. And then he just put me in contact with someone that he works with, and he's like, I honestly don't know if they'll be able to work with you. They're very, very busy. And I was like, okay. And again, because of my engagement rate and how I am with people and the numbers and stuff, they wanted to work with me, and so we started working together and did a very small launch, and we'll keep doing new stuff. And it really was like, it was just, the opportunity just happened. Like, I wasn't out looking for it, because how would I know how to start an apparel company?
Who made your logo?
Kent Youngstrom. He's a artist, and I was really struggling, like trying to come up with what it was going to look like. And we had a bunch of different stuff, and there was another one we had where we were always stylizing the N. It wasn't the C, it was the N. And I would like it, but then all of a sudden I'd have someone that's close to me be like, well, that's, needs to be a little bit softer, or like, it was tough because I had a lot of people weighing in, and I was really struggling.
That's how we feel about this podcast.
So I texted Kent, and he's a friend of mine, and I was I was talking to him about it, and he said, well, let me just play around with it. And I had always joked about, he basically came back and he had that, and it was just super simple.
And he said, this dot represents your nipple.
Yeah. Well, because I had made a joke that I made a joke that I wanted to do a t-shirt that had nipple, like something on it that was like a nipple shirt. That maybe you wouldn't realize that it was a nipple. I can't remember. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to like have a shirt, because he paints, where your nipples are at. It would look almost like if you took a blueberry and you had it in paint and you dropped it. So it would like have a hard dot in the middle, but it would have like a splatter out.
Yeah.
And I was like saying that I wanted to do that for a shirt where it was maybe where your nipples were at.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Like, it's a splatter mark, but it's
Maybe we should be sensitive about those who have nipples the size of blueberries. Maybe they could just be the blueberries, not the splatter.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
And so he basically just took that and he like just ran with the idea, and I loved it because now it meant something. It had meaning, because prior to, we were trying to create something, but it like there was no attachment to the design. And even then, though, I really feel like, because I have other designs that I'd like to use with the Ence and the N, and like we're gonna establish something, But I also feel like if I wanted to bring out a new design, I could do it if I wanted to.
It's gotta be weird for like talking to the artist. You're like, hey, we're playing with this, we're playing with that, and he comes back with,
here's your nipple.
There's a dot. There you go. It's a dot. It's like, that's right.
And did you know right away? You were like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it like that, by the way.
I think it's...
Because it's not gratuitous, boo, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the first thing I thought of.
No.
I like the brevity of it, though.
And you used to represent Noble.
Yes.
And still, they're cool with it?
Oh, I'm not a Noble athlete anymore.
So you're like, hey, did you come with a clothing line and they're like, you can't do that, you're done? Or
No.
your time expired with them?
No,
and you came out with this? How does that work?
we split prior to this all happening.
And how does that work with a sponsor? You said you had Pure Pharma before?
I'm Paleoethics,
Killcliff.
and I work with a company called Perkia. It's a ring company, and let's see.
And then you were Noble.
I was Noble, yeah.
And you had the bitchin' shoes. Mm-hmm. And do they do clothes?
They do clothes.
And
they've been working on their clothes for a while.
Is it hard leaving a sponsor?
It was hard leaving them. I've been with them. I was their first athlete they ever signed. And I'm very close with a couple of the other the athletes that they sponsor too. We all have been together for a very long time, and we're very best friends. And so that was harder. I think it was harder to not be with them anymore, and it was hard for them too. When I told them it was happening.
Do you leave amicably from all your sponsors, or is it always a little bit like two pieces of putty that pull away? It's like,
no, it was amicably.
Because is that a word?
You delivered it very confidently. I'm racking my brain.
I don't want to be like you and be making up shit.
Party on peace. Yeah, you'll get roasted. Peaceful terms.
I really identified you with that brand.
Yeah.
I mean,
so did I.
I don't know if it's because you were in the office all the time, but you always had the fucking cool Noble shoes on. You always had, there was just some, you had that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
and you rocked that shit.
Yeah.
And are they pissed at you for starting your own clothing line?
No.
Are you gonna have a shoe come out? Was there a Brooke Ence Noble shoe?
Yeah.
You still wear them?
No.
Do you have a shoe sponsor?
No.
You need a shoe sponsor.
No.
Don't want a shoe sponsor.
I just don't know if I do.
Right.
So here's the thing. I don't wear my Ence trainers anymore. One, it was from a couple years ago, and they were the all white trainers, and people still message me and want a pair. But they don't make them. I imagine they'll make some now, though. That they won't
call them the Matt Bishop.
That they won't be mine.
Trainers?
No, but that's why I don't wear them. But I have a bunch of Nobles at my house. Now I'm just trying different shoes. My feet are very temperamental, and
I recommend the Nano 2s while you're waiting for a shoe sponsor.
I know I've been wearing them. Oh no. Okay, the Nano 2 was my all-time favorite. I actually wore the shit out of. I had the orange ones. I wore them so long that at regionals in 2014, people were like, "You need to throw your shoes away," because there was no tread on them.
Do you not have any Nano 2s now?
No.
What size are you?
8.5.
8.5. I'm gonna get you some.
Yeah. So now I'm just.
Do you have fat feet?
I have a wide front of my foot and skinny in the back.
Yeah.
So that's why those ones fit so well for me, because they were shaped like a foot.
Yeah, that's how mine is.
Yeah, it's a good shoe.
But now I'm just trying different shoes to see what fits the best, and that's why I wouldn't really sign with a company. Unless honestly, I'll be completely honest, if the money was so great, or the opportunity, okay, I'm going to start over.
But you can't wear shitty shoes.
Here's my thing. I don't care. Oh, okay.
Do it.
I don't care what you can give me right now. This is how I've been with every sponsor I've ever had. I don't care how much money you're going to offer me right now. What are we going to do 10 years from now? What are we going to do 5 years from now? What future do you see for me down the road? If it's not bigger than what I can see for myself, then there's no point in me wasting my time with you. Because I can work a job. I love coffee. I will work at a coffee shop. I worked at a coffee shop. My first job when I moved to Santa Cruz, I washed towels at a hair salon. Okay?
Awesome.
So I can work. I don't need free stuff. I want opportunity. I want to build something with you. Yeah, I can coach. I was coaching full time. And the only reason I stopped coaching is because I got to where I was traveling so much that I was the asshole coach that was having to get my classes covered all the time.
Right.
That no one likes when it's happening every week.
It's a very seasoned perspective to approach that game with.
But
what is my opportunity as opposed to money or just product?
And what's funny though is I've been like that since day one.
Has anyone approached you?
For shoes?
Yeah.
No.
How long is it? Well, maybe people don't even know. It's pretty recent.
Well, I didn't
right?
come out and say it because it didn't need to be.
Right.
I'm not trying to
that takes me to my next question. What do you think about these people? They're like, when they get 50,000 followers, they're like, thank you. Or then they get to 100,000, they're like, thank you. Do you do thank yous?
Like to the people?
Yeah, like when you get to 1 million followers.
I'll do something.
Like later
I have an idea.
Like later on this afternoon. You're going to take away the black bars?
drop them. I'm gonna drop them for 1 minute. I'm gonna set all of my followers that are on my email list. You're gonna get an email. With no black bars.
When you were here last time, you said something about like not liking the word fan. I don't like the word fan.
Yeah.
Either. Can we look up what that word means?
Fan?
But then other times, like, it's just so easy to say, like, like if you were inside a gym and someone wanted an autograph, you'd be like, oh, hold on, one of my fans wants an autograph. Like, it could just slip out of your mouth.
Well, and here's the thing. I think it says something more. It says more about you or me than about them.
When you
using the word fan.
Yeah.
I don't think that they mind it.
Right.
Like, I'm a fan to people.
Right.
I'll fangirl.
Yeah. I don't
mind it. But I think that the reason I don't want to say it is I don't ever want people to feel like they are less than me.
Yes.
Because I worry about that. We talked about that last time I was on here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that. There's I don't want to mention any names, but there's someone who works here and someone's like, what are you?
See, yeah, that's not even bad. A person who has a strong interest or an admiration for a particular person or thing.
Right.
It's not bad. There's like nothing bad about it. I just want them to know that they matter more to me than just being a number.
Right. Like, I'm a fan of Matt Bishel.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Am I in your top 5? Am I in your favorites?
No.
Moving on.
No, you're not. 70. You are not. Who do you put in your favorites?
I don't even really use it. I can tell you who's in my favorites. Like on my phone, right?
You don't use
like the favorites. I've got.
Am I in your favorites, Matt?
No, I made it a point not to put you in there.
Just because I don't have you in mine? That's
people that were in my favorites are just people that I was calling all the time. My coaches,
right?
Mars, my dad, my mom.
Well, I don't really use my favorites, and you're typically in like the recents, so I just use.
So oh really? Do you just do recents now?
I do recents, yeah.
I do favorites a lot.
Yeah, I got Bailey O'Regan.
I think it's so cool that I'm B1M. 1M. I'm B1M. And I would love to be able to do something for all the people that,
who are part of that. I don't know what that's going to be yet, because first I thought, like, I want to have something, have a million of something so everyone gets one. And I was like, well, I would need $1 million and I don't have $1 million. You need $1 million and $1 million and then a stamp.
Yes. So I was thinking it'd be really fun to like make a video where we're like downtown and it's like very heroic shots and I'm just screaming, I'm 1M, just like screaming, like it's the best day ever. And then like the camera like pans out and there's like, we're downtown Santa Cruz, like some homeless people and like people just being like, what's 1M? and me being like,
yeah, that's awesome.
Me being like, well, do you have Instagram? And then being like, no, but could you spare some change?
Yeah. Hey, I really like that.
Being like, it's nothing.
Like just making fun of you. Another thing would be like, excuse me, miss, can you help me with my bags?
Yeah.
And then like, you're just like reduced to a bag person.
Yeah.
Or
someone just be like, dude, like someone parking, like someone behind you, like I'm in the crosswalk, and they're like in the car, and they're like, dude, no one cares. I'm trying to get to work. Get the fuck out of here. I do care though. I think it's very cool. I think that it gives it because of these people, and because of who I am, and how I think and how I do things. I have opportunity. And that's where it's like, you are helping me have this platform, but then I have to be the one that sells myself.
You're an inspirance. Inspirance.
Yes.
It's a little stretch.
That was a massive stretch.
You're an inspirance to people, and people want to be, and people, and you don't have time for everyone in your life, so that they can get that inspirance off of following you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And it's a lot.
And I want to bring value to.
And it's a lot to live up to too.
Yeah.
You're not at 8:00 at night when you want to throw a handful of gummy bears in your mouth. You're not.
No.
You're fucking. You take this responsibility.
Or if I am, I'm letting people know, like, I did this.
You take this serious. Oh yeah, there you go.
It happens.
Accountability.
I really, really don't like the people like you taking me to the fucking donut store.
No.
In their vlogs.
No.
Or like Sherwood posted this thing the other day of the people in the games department eating some donuts. I want to fucking go over and be like, what the fuck is going on over here? Matt, get over there and throw that shit away. Like, I just like I don't know why, but it gets under my craw.
What, that being highlighted?
Yeah, like that's not what you're doing. Like, Pat, like, you don't sit around and eat donuts. People in the games department and no one at fucking CrossFit HQ should be eating fucking donuts in the fucking building. Get the fuck out of here if you want to eat donuts.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with donuts, but don't eat them in here. We're preaching something here.
Well, and I think that
right?
Yeah, it's like if you
Couldn't agree more.
you go into a gym and they've got donuts up at the front desk. I've heard about that being at like global gyms.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine.
But I just mean like in general, like, you know, that kind of goes to show for everyone. Or like we talk about how you need to live and breathe the thing that you're preaching. Or why would I hire a fat coach if I don't want to? You know what I mean? Like you got to surround yourself with people that are living and doing the things that you want. You don't surround yourself with people that don't have the things that you want. And like that's what I tell people too. Where, you know, if someone says something mean about me or to me, one of many ways I get over it.
No one says anything mean to you, do they?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you get a lot on the internet.
No, not that. I mean, but to you. Does anyone...
to my face?
Yeah.
No, it's usually like I can hear them.
Oh, right. The guy in the airplane.
Or no, like women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get looking. I don't want to be buff like her.
Or it's a family that was in San Francisco. I think we talked about it. We're like, oh, she's definitely on steroids. Oh, yeah, she takes steroids.
Hey, she's not, man. Look at her mom. Unless the whole fucking family's juicing. What if we went to your town? What's the town in Utah you're from?
St. George.
What if we went to St. George and everyone's just jacked and the whole fucking water fucking system
There's a lot of fit people there for sure.
Pumping with testosterone. How come you haven't plugged your naked program? How come,
I was just about to say, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, do you not come on
Before
here
I
with
gotta
an
go?
agenda and be like, fuck, there's some shit I gotta get out?
No, literally yesterday, Matt was like, hey, you ready for tomorrow? And I was like, oh, yeah, the podcast. And I said, do you guys have an agenda? And he goes, no. And I was like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Tell me about this naked program.
Okay, and then I have a phone call in a few minutes.
I got shit to do too.
Yeah, we got so much shit to do.
Me too. Eric and I got a thing.
Eric, you're gonna be in here all by yourself.
I never thought that I would program for people. Besides when I program for a gym when I'm coaching as a coach, I never thought I would do it. And people have been messaging me and asking me about it for years, for diet and training and all this stuff. And
are you just gonna steal your coach's programming?
Guarantee. It's the first time I've seen
Money
that.
back, guarantee. Wow.
Guarantee. That's a stretch, but I like it.
I like it too.
Basically, it was just time, you know, and the whole like, I create hypothetical things. Like I have pets that I want. I already have hypothetical names for them. So I already knew that I wanted to at some point maybe do a program and I would call it Naked. Because it's about, you know, look good, feel good, naked. People want to look good, feel good, naked. And also it's different for every person too. You know what I mean? Like I had someone that messaged me and was like, Brooke, I don't care. They're like, I could be naked for 8 weeks and I still will not feel good about it. And I wrote back and I said, or I couldn't make them feel good naked, not even in 8 weeks. And I said, well, it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
And they wrote back and he said, and that's exactly why I just signed up.
Awesome.
You know, so it's like what it looks like
so it's
for me.
Men and women.
Oh yeah, and people keep asking that too. Like, is it for men and women? Do you go to a CrossFit gym? Do they have a men's program and a women's program?
No.
We all do the same exercises, you know, and and depending on a lot of things makes it different. Not your sex. One, what's your goal? That could change, right? Two, what level you're at. So it's for everybody.
Okay.
Because you go into it, and we do have a testing week. It's an 8-week ebook, by the way. This is an ebook. You're getting all of it up front. It's and then we possibly will be launching a program later on. But this is an ebook. I've never done an ebook before. It has diet help. We're running a challenge. Starts on the 14th. Best transformation. We are taking you and a friend to the CrossFit Games.
Who's the judge of the transformation?
Me and my team. Yeah.
You guys will have all the pictures out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Will you get more than one vote?
Who?
Me?
Brooke.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I bought the tickets to the CrossFit Games.
There
you go.
What do you think about, like, who do you expect to join this program? I mean, are you expecting
The
someone...
90%. Your everyday CrossFitter that doesn't want to be a CrossFit athlete, CrossFit competitor. My mom is doing it.
Do you think you're
my
gonna
sister's
get,
doing it.
Do you think you're going to get people who are obese?
Yes, I already have people who have never done CrossFit. But we have two options. It's not just you sign up and you get to choose, am I training in a conventional gym or a CrossFit gym? And then things are different. So typically in the conventional, we have some stuff in there that's some machine stuff. And then you're not going to have as much Olympic lifting and things like that. Versus if you're training at a CrossFit gym, you're going to see more things. You'll see You won't
Maybe
see
you should
machine
just call it
stuff.
idiot programming and those who are the lucky ones.
Right.
I've had a lot of people that messaged and they're like, well, they train at home. What equipment do we need? So right now I have a bunch of people that are just manning the email and they're answering all the questions. It's an
Or
ebook.
womaning the email. Don't be sexist.
Sorry. It's an ebook, and I keep reminding people that. Like, it's, some people are saying, well, what if I can't start it right now? Get the ebook and start it when you can. You know what I mean? Like, it's an ebook. It's an ebook again, but we're there to help you.
Take this programming and just and run the program right. Like could I just buy your book and then be like, oh, I'm going to do this in my gym for 8 weeks.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Like for my classes and everything.
If you wanted to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the whole class could be on the Brooke Ence thing.
Yeah, it's for the everyday CrossFitter that wants to be stronger and leaner.
And there's a nutritional component.
Yes, to help, because we're doing the challenge, and it's basically, and then per person you got to answer some questions to decide how to help it fit your thing, right? And then you have any questions, email in. We have a Facebook group, but again, it's an ebook, and so here's something that I want to do, and then I gotta go.
You don't want to talk about the boat?
Which boat?
Next time. We'll talk about the boat next time.
The here's my big
When does
picture.
the boat sail?
We go
didn't know about the
in
boat.
2019.
Oh, okay. We got plenty of time. We'll talk about the boat.
Yeah. Well, and you gotta, people that want to go, that by the 15th
Of this month?
of this month, I have to have 50%, a quarter of the boat filled.
I don't even know what I'm going to be doing in 2019. How the
I know.
fuck am I supposed to
Here's
make that
the
decision?
thing, right?
Yeah.
Like when this whole opportunity came up, sorry guys, little segue into
boat.
my Ence Europe trip, which is awesome, by the way. I've never been on a real cruise, and that's why when they first called me, I was like, I don't really know. But then I saw the boat, and then I went and did the sample cruise, and it's legit. And it's super intimate. There's only like 150 people on there, if that. My trip in 2020 goes Amsterdam, stops all through Germany, and ends in Switzerland. Well, it's going to be sick.
How long? 7
days.
Okay.
This one, it makes sense that we have to, they've got to book it. It makes sense. They have to do it because the company, Amadeus, has all these ships. It takes a lot of money to man that boat. It's like a 5-star experience. All the people that work at the entire time, the chefs, everything. So they have to have
So it's not one of those it's not a carnival scumbag cruise where you go and just sit.
No, man. They turn your bed down while you're at dinner at night.
You're not gonna have the boat, the window touching the water.
The windows, each room is a window room.
Awesome. And you'll be on the boat.
Then I'll be on the boat.
And Marzen will be on the boat.
Yes.
So like anyone who
And
wants
my parents are coming.
So anyone wants
Riggs?
to go to hit on you that's not the place.
No.
Okay. Just check. Before I put down how much is it? 5,000.
No, you can. So I think the rooms are differ. And you can do a down payment of $1,000, and every 3 months you'll get an invoice to do a payment. And then when it's over, it just depends on which room you got. You know what I mean?
What's the cheapest room I can get?
The cheapest room, I think, is like per person. You have to get it with 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest room per person is I think it's $1,600. And that includes your food every day.
Do they have a room that Haley and I can share with Matt and Bailey for even cheaper?
No, only 2 people per room.
Oh, can we get bunk beds?
I'd do
But that's
that.
that's
Bailey and I are
that's
young
your
I'd do that with you and Bailey.
that's your whole trip. That's your breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day.
That's so cheap.
So cheap, and it's
Yeah.
the food is amazing.
So 7 days.
And then if you want to do
$3,200 for Haley.
if you
and
want
I.
to do more than that, then you'd pay on top of that. Like excursions you want to go do, we'll do that. But my trip, we already have a CrossFit gym at every stop. We'll have.
So if I'm doing the naked program, I don't have to fucking stop doing it just because I'm on the Ence cruise.
Yeah, no. Also, I'm working on building out. So these boats have to be able to go under bridges, so you can't put a rig on it.
They show that in the video.
So what we're going to do is I really want to we'll put matting up top, and then we'll just have things like kettlebells, dumbbells, and some sandbags that we can keep down under. And then when we're at port, we'll be able to have them up on top so we can do morning workouts up there. And we'll do them. There's yoga, there's a lot of cool stuff like that.
Will people be able to work out with you all 7 days?
Not everybody.
But some people.
Yeah, some people.
If you're on the boat at one point or another, they're going to get to work out with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be around hanging out with a bunch of people.
Isn't that stressful for you?
Yeah. But I think, honestly, I feel like
I'd be like, oh, you want to go on a vacation, get a free cruise? Oh yeah, sure, I'd love to. But you got to entertain 150 people. What?
well,
I mean,
so
that means
that's
you're going to take pictures with every one of those people. You're going to have to sign something of theirs. You're going to hug all of them. That part's kind of cool if you're into hugging, which you're into hugging.
You're
I
a great
feel
hugger.
I really pride myself on the ability to hug. I'm really good at it. In fact, when someone's really crappy at it and I waste a hug on them, it makes me feel I feel uncomfortable.
Have you ever hugged Tosh, Brian Shantosh?
Yeah.
That's a good hugger.
He's a good hugger
That's
too.
a world-class
He
hugger.
really brings you in.
Yeah.
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 It's about full body contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to there's a difference between like an embrace and like a hug. You can change someone's day by hugging them. That sounds so ridiculous, but I'm serious.
I agree.
I have friends like when they have bad days, I'm like,
Come on into Mama Bear.
come here. Really quick, naked program. It's for the 90%, the 99%. It's okay to want to train and be an athlete and focus on your programming and not go to the CrossFit games. You know, like I think some people get, even in this office, Marcin does it to Heber and Tommy all the time.
Oh yeah.
Why are you wearing a heart rate monitor? Like Tommy had a heart rate monitor yesterday. He goes, because I care about, I want to know where things are at certain times in my training. You know, and he's like, yeah, but you're not going to the CrossFit games. And I'm like, Mars, some people want to care about their fitness. Like it doesn't have to, you know what I mean? Like, and some people like numbers.
I still like it that Mars takes the
I
piss
can
out.
I can so hear Mars saying
Yes.
that.
And he does it all the time. But like, to train, this is for people that want to get strong and look good and feel good and have some confidence, and they're not trying to go to the CrossFit games, but they too want to be strong and be able to walk around and feel good about their ability to do things or to like handle things. You know what I mean? And I have some ideas. I'm an idea person, and I've got some programs in the works that will be very fun.
Do you run guinea pigs through this? Like, did you make Mars do this program?
No. My sister started doing it.
Mars.
Yeah, no.
Why not make Mars do that shit?
He wouldn't.
What?
No.
Why not?
Mars is a wild bull. I'm not going to speak for your husband. Mars is he's a wild bull.
He does what the bull does.
Yeah.
Does Mars have to watch what he eats? His body's pretty crazy. I get him peanut butter and jelly sandwich every time I fucking go to the store because I'm trying to make him fat. I saw him in your videos at Ibiza. He's ripped.
Yeah, we actually were talking about like fasting and like stuff like that. Like he kind of does that naturally. If I don't, sometimes he'll go and get he'll eat breakfast, and then he really doesn't eat again until he comes home at night.
Unless I get him peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Sometimes he'll eat here, but you know what it is he's not going to go and get food. Sorry, honey, you're lazy.
Did you know that I got him peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
No.
He hasn't never told you that?
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah, never once. I did not know that.
I bet you I bought him 50.
That's funny.
I'm not
You
even
have bought
joking.
quite a few.
You should ask him. I bet. Oh man, I should ask him. Has he ever got you one? He'd probably be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Hey, Mars, you know what sounds good? A PB&J from Redwood.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No, but he will sometimes it changes, right? Like sometimes he'll go and get food, like go to Redwood Sandwich Company, or like if Connor's going, like they'll get one for each other. Like they do that. A lot of the boys will do that a lot of the time.
Connor's his boy.
Yeah, but like if he'll eat in the morning, and then if he's like working, he just doesn't like to.
He gets in the flow.
He gets in the flow, and so he won't eat, and then he's ravenous. He's starving after work, and he'll eat after work, but he doesn't. In fact, when I cook for him, I like put all kind of shit in there. I'm like butter, cheese, like fatten him up, like get him some calories because he hasn't eaten.
He doesn't look it.
No.
Naked program. BrookeEnce.com.
It's awesome. BrookeEnce.com.
Clothes.
I am doing clothes. I'm getting ready to launch a bunch new. We're working on leggings and booty shorts right now, and I'm super picky about what I wear and booty shorts, how they fit. So I'm sure the people that I'm working with are like, come on. And I'm like, no, these got to be perfect.
And either get on the boat or miss the boat.
Yeah, get on the boat. If you like fun, why wouldn't you come? And you know what? There is this whole thing, like I understand, and I told them this, like no one's going to want to plan that far in advance. However, it's far enough in advance that you can definitely afford it, especially if you did like a payment plan.
What if
Not
you,
a
what
lot
if you
of.
get scheduled to make a movie during that time? Will everyone get their money back?
No, I would still go. I'd have to just do one of those things where you fly in for a day and hang out and stay one night and fly out.
All
But
right.
I'm not that cool yet.
2019.
It's like such a hypothetical question.
I know. The Naked program is awesome. It really is. And I have my partner on my programming side is Jake Hutton, and he's incredibly talented and knowledgeable. And
The Vanilla Gorilla.
the Vanilla Gorilla.
Oh yeah, I heard about him.
So Jake is the man, and
Oh, he was on Tommy's
Team
one year.
People refer to me as the Vanilla Chinchilla.
All right, thank you, bro.
all right.
Is there anything you want to
Sorry,
ask
guys.
Matt?
Thank you, Brooke.
No, me
it's
neither.
Interesting take.
No.
And I didn't want to answer anything.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
We will have to do this again, and
we want you to be a
feel free-
regular. We have this list of people that need to be regulars. You're one of
Okay.
them.
Feel free to cut out some of the emotional, side of some of the stuff if
Oh,
it gets a
yeah.
little too intense.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to go through this thing and edit this thing up.
Yeah.
I think it's all good.
People fucking love you. They want to hear it all.
Yeah.
It's so, I'll come out of podcasts, and I did it the last time too, and I feel like sometimes I black out, and I come out and I just think like, I don't know what I said, but I'm sure I've probably offended a few people.
I don't think you
No,
offended
I don't
anyone.
think I offended anyone.
I don't think you said anything.
I definitely black out in this room too, so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Eric,
Thank you.
land the
Work
plane.
out.
Thank you.
Dude, Eric's got a trigger finger there.